Se esconde toda calada, não me deixe somente. Olha, olha,
Put that back in the top right. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna be right back. Let me make this bigger. Okay. I should not be too long. And then we will be back to the house in Fata Morgana. Which we left on quite an interesting note. So I will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Estou contando os dias que nós passamos. O que escondi de toda calada, não me deixe somente. Olha, olha, já acho que você mostra-me toda gelada. Palavras fez-me ficar pelas, não me deixe instante. Eu só estou contando os dias que nós passamos. O que você acho cor que você mostra-me é toda gelada palavras fez-me ficar pelas não me deixe um instante eu só estou contando os dias que nós passamos. O que você esconde de toda calada, não me deixe somente olha acho cor que você mostra-me é toda gelada palavras fez-me ficar pelas não me deixe um instante eu só tenho
estou contando os dias que nós passamos. O que você esconde de toda calada, não me deixe somente. Olha, acho col que você mostra-me toda gelada palavras fez-me ficar pelas não me deixe um instante eu só estou contando os dias que nós passamos. O que você esconde de toda calada, não me deixe somente olha acho cor que você mostra-me toda gelada palavras fez-me ficar pelas não me deixe instante eu só esconde de toda calada, não me deixe somente. Olha,
Sorry about that. Ate some lunch. I am unfortunately mortal, and I need to eat food. Thank you, thank you. Glad to be back. It is a bit tough playing this right after that game, because not every game can have House and Fata Morgana level writing. God, I can't wait to see what the next game they make is. I'm so excited. Refutation. That's right, we saved him. We saved her. Okay. Don't worry, you probably won't miss too much, and I'll catch you up when you get back. But yeah, have a nice din. And then put on this robe. It's a little chilly. Yay! Hi, Cake. Happy to see you. I figured. When aren't you playing Stardew? Although you were saying you might want to play Streets of Rogue, which is quite fine by me. That game's fun. Yep, have fun befriending a Krobus. It understood Krobus. Krobus. Huh. Alright, captions. Captions. There you go. Wow. That is impressive. We must leave this place. What? It would not be wise for us to remain here long. The air is still thick with darkness. I can hear the sound of the clap of the air cheeks. But the front door won't open. And even if we could get out from somewhere, what would happen to us? We've finally found each other again after so long. I want to share a quiet, modest life with you like before. What if all that disappears when we step outside? After all, we are... She doesn't finish, but I know what she was going to say. We're different now. She's stepped far outside the bounds of mortality. And the same could be said of me. I am the man known as Michael is long since dead. The mansion itself does not follow the rules of nature either. Rules of nature! Sorry, I've seen a lot of people play through Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. That is sure a game. It is quite a game. As beings no longer in possession of their proper forms, stepping outside these walls could very well mean the end of us. I can't say what might lie in store, but we must return. Even though by staying here, we could be together for all time, I don't imagine that would be a very happy life. There is no sun here, no chirping birds, no trees, or breeze to rustle the leaves. If we stay here, the nothingness will eat away at us. We have finally reattained our old selves. We need to take action now, while we can. What if I say I want to stay here? Then I'll drag you out. It's almost like we switched places. Back then, it was you who wanted to stay. It's also kind of funny hearing you speak favorably of the outside, and especially the sun. The words, "That's all thanks to you," are on my lips, but before I can say them, I find myself hypnotized by her smile. That smile has picked me up so many times. She claims it's her only redeeming feature, but if she didn't have it, my life would have gone in a very different direction. I'm grateful to have gotten that back too. I'm trying to find... Hey man, I hope found what I was looking for. Wanted a hair tie. Not the most happy looking smile, but she's trying. She did just get back, you know. She did just come back from being the maid for 700 years, so it's understandable her smile's a little strained. That could not have been easy. Say, we're in the middle of a very, touching reunion, wouldn't you say? What? I suppose so, yes. And when you say, there's a certain way these things usually go? Huh? Huh? What? You really going to make me say it? I was, hoping you might perhaps kiss me? What? Oh, these dorks. What? Oh, seriously, what? Where did all that boldness from a second ago go? What happened to all the momentum you were building? Yeah. About that. I think that might be more appropriate later. No, I don't think so. I don't know if she's still bad with touch. Maybe she's better with touch. I don't know. Yeesh. Can't believe what you're thinking, Cake. Wild. Terrible. How could you? Such terrible thoughts. Such... What's the word I'm looking for? I won't think about it too much. Later? How much later? After we find an exit. We're, you know, in a hurry. You're just making excuses because you don't want to. I swear that's not it. Giselle. Let's save that for when things aren't as crazy. I can't relax and enjoy it right now. What are you, 12? Oh, hush. Alright, fine. But you'd better keep your word, got it? promise. Let's go then. Let's find our way out of the mansion. There, our frozen time should begin moving again. That's hopefully where our future waits. It will be. No, we'll make it so. Yes, we will. If we leave the mansion, it should release our souls as well. And in doing so, should finally provide her deliverance. So I mustn't hesitate. To end all of this, for both of us, we must start again. This is where we... What? Darkness. It's a blackness purer than anything I've experienced in this house. Not a trace of light anywhere to be found. Why did I ever think the house would let us go so easily? Why did I ever think our time in the darkness was over? Michael! The darkness surges through the open door like a wave, flooding the observation tower. Like ivy growing wildly to cover every last inch of every surface. Consuming, defiling, eroding. Our fingers slip apart, and concentrated rancor rains down upon us. How hideous a world this is. No. Michael! Please, please! Don't let go of my hand! Giselle! Michael! I said I would never let her go again. I said I would get her out of this place. I swore I would. As hard as I try to stretch, I can't reach her hand. Help, Michael! I can't move! I can't move my body! I went out of my way to give you a beautiful tragedy. So why must you stubbornly insist on this ugliness? The more you struggle, my dears, the thicker and more palpable your filthiness becomes. It's sickening. Wouldn't you agree? She's always spat her bile with a song-like cadence, singing like a little girl, chirping like a morning bird. She celebrates misery. She watches for the worst possible moment to let out a cackle. Morgana! Hey, girl. You, could use a couple skincare routines. Looking a little... just a little dry. I swear you two are hopeless. I pity you. I give you my deepest condolences. Let go! Let me go! Don't take me away from him. Giselle! The darkness seeping into her grew thicker by the moment, and its black tendrils weren't just wrapped around her, but me as well. Stop this, Morgana! Let her go? Wow, nothing more original. I need a devoted puppet to protect this mansion for me. So I can't give her up. Not even at your request. Besides, why should I give back something you threw away? Something you abandoned again and again. What are you talking about? You still haven't figured it out, my dear. Or are you just feigning ignorance for your own convenience? You always did like to withhold anything that might prove disadvantageous. Michael! Giselle, give me your hand. Reach harder. As hard as you can. Grab my hand. I can't do it. It's like I'm tied up. I can't move at all. She's right there. She waited so many hundreds of years for me, finally managing to reclaim herself. She's right there. So why can't my hand go any further? Why can't I reach her wrist, her hand, or even a strand of her flowing hair? Why can't I get her back again? Michael! Her voice is growing fainter, more distant. The darkness shrouds her, taking her away from me. Her arms, her fingers, the hands she led me with. Blah. Her smiling face, her once glowing grin, and her now more modest smile. The witch's darkness is stealing every last bit of her. Stop! Please don't do this! Take me instead of her! Why? Why does it have to be her? Why her? Morgana! Why? Because your work is done, my dear. By all accounts, as the one who resurrected me, you should have become my guide as well. But you let a silly woman emotionally manipulate you, and you gave up on cursing others. And then you threw away your life, deluded into thinking you were protecting her. Morgana! You already gave up the position once. Don't think you can just walk up and ask for it back. Set Giselle free. I'll do anything you ask. If you need a puppet, I'll be your puppet. If you want more from me, it's yours for the taking. But I can't leave her to remain in this cursed house any longer. You certainly have let your obsession for this girl take its toll on you. I much preferred the old, pessimistic, cynical Michael. It wasn't until I met Giselle that I truly became human. She made me into what I'm supposed to be. I can't lose her again. Is that so? Well, you'll come to the harsh realization soon enough that everything you saw in her was just a facade. It was not. Alright then. If you want her back so badly, you can have her. But in exchange, I want you to entertain me. Will you endure maddening agony for me? Will you know pain enough to make you howl? Will you face despair again and again and again? If you need her that badly, you can bear anything, can't you? If that is what you want from me, if that will allow her to see the sun once more. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Wait, Morgana! Morgana! As you wish, foolish boy. I was looking for a way to keep busy anyway, so I'll use you to kill some time. Find your way to me, my dear. Find your way to me without going mad or succumbing to despair. And do hurry, or she might lose her mind again. Those memories you forced her to relive, those hundreds of years she spent locked away in her shell, fear ate away at her. It's a bit much to have to reflect on with a clear mind, wouldn't you say? That's why I need to be there for her. I have to get her out of here. That's my obligation to her. You're the one who let go of her hand, though. You can put a broken cup back together, but the slightest tap in the wrong place will shatter it again. Ghana! The witch's cackling fades into the distance. My outstretched hand is completely enveloped in the shadows. I can't even make out the faintest outline of it. And I can't tell if I'm sinking, floating, being pushed along some invisible stream, or falling with incredible speed. It's not flying, it's falling with style. My eyes are open, but they can detect nothing. Hey. The complete lack of sound is almost painful. Nothing, anything, anywhere. Void. My consciousness begins to drift. Vague remnants of the feeling of her hand in mine are my only link to reality, my one and only landmark. Giselle. I must get her back. She waited, enduring for hundreds, no, almost 1,000 years. And now, it's my turn to act. I have to hold that resolve, hold it firm, so that I may never forget her again, so that I never lose myself again, even if I'm consumed by the darkness. You must never back down. You must never look away. You must never lose her. Hey, title drop. The story behind the story. Hey, Master. Hello? Is anyone in there? Master? Okay. Oh good, welcome back. What's gotten into you? I thought you had fallen asleep with your eyes open. I am not accustomed to people needing my attention. Or, I suppose, talking face to face at all. This is my mansion? Giselle's right in front of me, smiling like she always did. Smiling for me. You're not hurt, Giselle? You have been alone for 10 years, but now I'm living here with you. So what do you say we do a little practice conversation? Practice conversation? What exactly do you think I am? Yeah. No offense intended. I just thought it'd be nice if you had more back and forth skills. So in short, you're saying I'm such a poor conversationalist I need training? Hey, don't get so snippy. That's not what I meant. I'm saying we don't talk enough, and I want to talk to you more. It's fun. No. This is an old memory. From when Giselle first returned to the mansion. And we were just starting our new life together. When we were still feeling around in the dark. Welcome back. Morgana appeared and took Giselle away and took Giselle away and said that we should, we must endure, what was it she said? Something like unimaginable agony or something, to get her back. She said she's just killing time now to... She's like, oh, well, I might as well kill a little bit of time, you know. Entertain me, is what she said. So we can get Giselle back. After she took her away yet again. We got to be together for like 5 minutes. And then she's gone. And now we're in a memory, or we're seeing a memory where Giselle wants to practice conversation with Michael. What exactly would you want to talk about then? Each other, of course. I have nothing to say. Now, let's not be rash. It can be anything. Things you like, things you don't like. Start with something small, insignificant. Also, I hope dinner was good, Kev. Does that serve any purpose? It does, yes. The more you know about someone, the closer you feel to them, and the better friends you can become. Is that how it works? My boy's never had a friend. Oof. I'm glad it was good. Now that that's out of the way, let me ask me something. Ask me anything and I'll gladly answer. Oh, sorry. Her eyes are lit up like a child's. We won't see that much, I imagine. It's 700 years will do that to you. Sorry, I'm doing a tweet just in case anybody actually looks at my Twitter. I don't know, but who knows? Maybe if I tweet out my streams enough, somebody will see it. That'll be good. Is she really so eager to converse with me? I don't believe it. Hey, to be fair, I mean, you aren't the best conversationalist, but, you know, you try. And I think that's what matters. Yeah, that's all good. I mean, I always post in the Discord anyways, so... I apologize for morbing you the other day. Everybody in my Discord got morbed. I can't believe Captions doesn't recognize Morbius, or to get morbed. Can't believe it. Captions isn't a morb head. Anyways. Apparently they actually re-released Morbius because they were like, oh, everybody's memeing about it because they want to see it again, right?
No.
They I think somebody like figured out, so they made less money in the re-release than Fantastic Beasts did, despite renting out, despite being in twice as many theaters. I think they made like $85 a theater, which is bad, really bad. Anyways, sorry, I'm off topic. But yeah, Morbius bombed again. It's so funny. What's the matter? I'm ready for anything. Have you seen Morbius? Very well. I'll ask whatever comes to mind. Go for it. Choices! Except this isn't really choices. This is which one do you want to do first? Nice! Welcome in, Alice. We are in our own romance story. Less spicy than yours, I assume, but you know, you could just get a library card, Alice. But yeah, welcome in. We're back to the house in Fata Morgana. I mean, whenever I want to, you can have an app for it. I use Libby, and I can just get ebooks. It's very easy. But yeah, welcome in. I hope you've had a good day today, Alice. Yeah, everybody, this is a reminder, go to your library. But hey, Alice, which option should we choose first here? We are, this is Michael asking Giselle these questions, because Giselle wants him to be better at conversing. Oh, okay. That makes sense then. But yeah, pick an option. Pick an option. Any option. I thought you might pick that. Wow, how very forward of you. Huh? My taste in men is the last thing I expected you to ask about, Master. I don't recall specifying people. Now, don't fret the details. It's only natural to be curious, so let's make it about that. And that's the last thing I wanted to talk about. Look what you've done, Alice. You've made Michael even more awkward, which is impressive. Oh, he's such a dork. I love him. Alright then. Tell me about your first crush, Master. And I have to start? I never had one. What? No, I'm not buying it. You were living at home until 10 years ago, weren't you? Surely there was someone who caught your eye. There was not. Without missing a beat. Oh, fine. Then I'll go. My first crush was the son of a blacksmith. You know, there's a theory. There's a theory on why there's so many people have the last name Smith. It's because blacksmiths fucked a lot. Like, I mean, come on, you're a middle-aged lady. You're looking for potential men, and you see a big buff man working on the iron. I'd get hot and bothered too. So, anyways, completely off topic, and perhaps too much information, as always. You missed the part where you ask, what kind of guy was he? This is such a pain. So this is right after they had their heart-to-heart back ages ago in the fifth door. Or I guess it's kind of the fourth door. It's the real fourth door, fifth door. After Michael chased off the asshat villagers that were, hey, they were awful. Amadi was a piece of shit. But anyways. Since you asked, he was a huge, muscular fellow. He was so tall he would always hit his head on the doorway whenever he came to our shop to trade. Oh. Nice, beefy guys really are great, huh? Yes. Yes, they are. You're not wrong, Giselle. Giselle is spitting facts right here. They make your heart get all fluttery and tight. Are you trying to imply I don't have a chance? Though, I think that was more admiration than love. You know, the way a group of girls will get together and fawn over a popular, good-looking guy? It was like that. So you're saying the buff bastard was popular? Very much so. I wonder what love feels like. I never got the chance to find out before ending up like this. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to get all dark on you. Say whatever's on your mind. I don't deserve your consideration. It was my family that put you through that, after all. Perhaps it is my reticence that causes her to watch her step around me. Damn. Need to come up with something to say. When I was 14. Oh? You asked about my first crush. Ah, I knew you had one. So tell me, what was she like? She was the daughter of a noble family. Her name was Amy, and she was a year older than me. Ah, love between nobility. A world I can only imagine. It never went anywhere. What? You didn't try to woo her? You didn't shower her in presents? Were you, by chance, a late bloomer, Master? She was my brother's fiancée. Oh, I see. Awkward. So, it was a love that could never be realized. That's sad. Not really. Besides, I don't feel anything for her anymore. And what I felt then was just impulses. I guess that makes us both inexperienced. Puberty'll do some shit to you. You got so many hormones there, it's... Oy. I don't want to go through that ever again. Woo! One puberty's enough for me. I suppose it does. Ah! Okay, I think that's enough of that. So it is. Yeah, let's see. I knew we were gonna be able to ask all the questions. Well, this is just rude. This is just rude. So of course we're gonna ask that next. You haven't told me your age. My age? Take a guess. I thought she said she would tell me anything. What are we thinking, chat? I think we know she's like 25-ish, I think. But, this is... I wouldn't be surprised if this just led to a bad end. She instantly kills us. I don't think she wants to hear this. And that is no. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I was figuring. Are you 20? Wow, you're exact. Oh, she is 20. I forgot. You're surprisingly astute, Master. And what's surprising about that? I didn't expect you to get done on your first try. Have you been secretly watching me? Oh, Master, you're making me blush. She feels older than that. Probably because of all the shit she's gone through. She's gone through so much shit. Feels like that's aged her a couple years. Why the sudden death stare? I'm struck with an overwhelming urge to hurl you out a window. Oh, you're no fun. That's what I thought too. I think just, you know, I mean, this is medieval times, so I guess, I don't know. I was just gonna guess like 25 based on her life experience as well, yeah. Mine too. Mine is horrendous. Yeah. I never had. I should never put much stock into that. Oh, you're no fun. Okay, it's your turn now. How old are you, Master? As I recall, I should be 27 this year. Oh wow, you're much older than I expected. What did you expect? Hello, D-Type. Have fun with Ace Combat. You are very mellow, like I would expect of an older man. Well, I mean, she's definitely got a couple 100 years on us now. She's a little older than us now, I'll say. You know, give or take 100 years, you know. But every once in a while, you give the impression of a teenage boy. I'd imagine, you know, being trapped in a mansion for 10 years will do that to you. Stunt a lot of your growth. For what it's worth, I mean that in a good way. For what it's worth. Tell me about your family. Do you want to know about my family? We were pretty normal, I think. Not much interesting about us. We had been able to get citizenship in the capital, but we weren't super rich or anything. In fact, it was because we were having money troubles that I ended up here. It's not easy for 3 women to make it on their own. You didn't have a father or any brothers? No, we lost my father to a plague when I was younger. Since then, it's been me, my mother, and my older sister. But they're both bright, lively people. Our family motto is, a smile can make anything better. Maybe that explains why she can still smile now, even after nearly succumbing to despair. Suck. I've always kind of wanted some brothers, though. Men are more suited to physical labor, yes. Not quite what I was going for. I feel like, I don't know, kind of things you would ask a brother and a sister for help with are different. Not sure how to explain it, but a guy with broad shoulders and muscular arms is someone you can look up to, for instance. Someone who looks like they'd always keep you safe. She's never been betrayed by family, it would seem. She can't even imagine family hurting her. She has no idea. But those closest to you, those who are supposed to care about you more than anything, can be your greatest enemies. That blood is a bond heavier than any chain. Master? You kinda went off on like a edgy teen poem thing? You good? I believe your brothers are still on your side. Oh. It's been so long, I don't know if they are. I don't know what they think about me anymore. I'm sure they're still your allies. You want to believe it too, don't you? You want to believe they're not enemies. Let's believe in them together, then. Anything you want to believe, you should. It's such a better way to look at the world than the other way around. You have to be positive, or one day you'll crack. always remember to have faith so that doesn't happen. I don't understand. She's honest about her emotions in a way I simply cannot be. She is the exact opposite of me in that regard. And yet, she can still read me. I don't get it. How can she understand me like that? It's like she can read my mind. If only I could just tell her everything. Make it all another page in our mindless chatter. Get everything weighing down on me off my chest. Is something the matter? You're cruel. What? I said you're cruel. I'm sorry. Ignore me. In preparation for the day you can finally go back home, you're going to have to stop being such a picky eater. Where did that come from? Think about how terrible it would be if, when that day finally came, you went back sickly and weak and emaciated. You wouldn't be able to enjoy yourself. You're still alright, Master. You're doing okay. So let's try to keep you healthy. Eat your vegetables, Michael. Do you like being here? Of course, I love it here. Being with you, being able to talk to you like this. See, that I don't understand. What? Why not? I find it difficult to believe there exists any reason speaking with me would be anything but unpleasant. You're so negative. Oh, hush. Say that, for example, instead of me, there was someone not so pessimistic here. You would rather be talking to them, wouldn't you? I really do enjoy this, truly. I will admit, my time down in that village was, for the most part, delightful. But, oh, how should I put this? I started realizing, yeah, I'm kind of forcing myself to fit that image. And I'm trying to convince myself that that's okay. But somehow, when I'm here, there's none of that. Wonder why that is. I certainly wouldn't know. I suppose you wouldn't. I know. Maybe I think of you as a kid now. Come again? I love talking to kids. What? Hey, now, don't give me that look. What I'm trying to say is, you're very sincere, Master. You're not going to smile and then stab me in the back when I turn the other way. I can relax around you, which is nice. I see. You just blushed, didn't you? You're blushing, you adorable little thing. It's alright, you're allowed to fall for me. Oh god. Is there any window in particular you'd like to be thrown out of? No fun at all. Terrible, terrible, Michael. Especially since you do end up falling for her anyways. See what I was saying, Master? Just a short conversation. I knew you better than I did before, and you me. That's fine and well, but what do I do with that knowledge? Huh? You don't do anything with it. It's fun learning things you didn't know before. That's all there is to it. And what happens when there's nothing left to learn? That's a day I don't think will ever come. People are always changing and growing, so there's no upper limit to what you can know about them. Always something new to discover. Oh, wee. Sorry. I was trying to scroll up and chat to make sure I didn't miss anything. And, well, scrolled up in the game, too. Oops. Maybe we'll be here for many more years. Or maybe you'll be able to go home sooner than you expect. Or maybe... You know, Maybe knights will come and kill you, and then I'll be tricked into a contract with a witch, and then live here for the next 700 years. But that would never happen, right? I also gotta go pee. I will be right back. I'm not even gonna put up the BRB. I'll be so quick. I am back. Drinking that energy drink. Did not help my need to be. But either way, I hope we can keep getting to know each other until then. Thank you, Gav. I'm back. I be back. Yeah. Yep, what a surprise, right, Cake? It's not like you're in the other room and you saw me walk back in. And of course, if you're open to it, it doesn't have to end there. We can continue getting to know each other for years to come. Hey, now, what are you looking away for? What do you think? Because you keep throwing me off balance. Oh, he is definitely blushing. A few months ago, I was doing everything in my power to avoid her. Alright, you can be excited all you want. Yet now that smile of hers seems so oddly enchanting. I don't understand. I will do my best so that we can make this work. I'm glad to hear that. Giselle, I was too awkward back then. You're still kind of awkward, but, you know, we love you for it. To even compliment you on your smile. To put my feelings into words. I was too cynical to accept what you said at face value. Which I know caused you plenty of grief. I'm not much better now than I was then. But I will tell you this. When I next see you, I want more than anything to let you know how much I adore your smile, and how much I don't want to lose you, or it, ever again. You must never reclaim... Oh, this is the witch. Reclaim your old selves. Become my loyal servants. Always at my side. And curse them with me, my dears. Eternal suffering on all their souls. Oh, is this? Oh. My consciousness, wavering like a ship at sea, slowly drawn back to the surface. With each new breath, feeling gradually returns to my fingers. Can hear the pattering of rain from somewhere. The sound of a crackling fire. Creak, creak, creak. Splurt, splurt, splurt. Old man arthritis is coming again. Sorry. I could, anyways. Apologies. I am... Why did I say that? It takes me a moment. It takes a moment for me to realize I am in the very same spot where I first woke up. I don't know how I got here, but I'm sitting in a rocking chair, hunched forward. My head feels like someone filled it with rocks, and I'm having difficulty focusing. My joints are creaking, and I feel like I'm going to vomit. A suffocating odor hangs over the room. What is this? Giselle. Giselle! Everything comes back to me all at once. That's right. I watched Morgana kidnap her. I watched the witch drag her into the darkness, unable to reach her hand. Where are you, Morgana? Ugh. I know you're there, cackling as you look down on me. Say something, witch! Ugh. I will find you. I will take her back. Ugh. What on earth? There's a pool of liquid at my feet, rising just short of my ankles. It's sticky and uncomfortably warm. It's cum. Every step I take makes splat, splat noises. It's cum. This is the cum zone. Blood. It knows the word cum zone? The captions knows the word cum zone. Oh, cum zone. Oh, well, it won't do it again. Ah, well. The mansion has taken on a very different face from when Giselle was leading me through its halls. Morgana, this is just petty. Come on now. Captions is encouraging my degeneracy, which is the word I was looking for earlier. When you said you thought Giselle wanted to be laid. Wanted to get laid, you degenerate. Blood of unknown origin not only covers the floor, but also streams down the walls and drips from the ceiling. I'm speechless as I behold the dreadful scene. Every breath I take tastes and smells of rust. Ugh. It's all so unreal, beyond my comprehension. All I can do is stare, aghast, feeling like I might pass out. Giselle, are you seeing this? The same twisted nightmare as me? An image of her floating alone in a vast sea of blood flashes through my mind. That vision kicks me into motion. I promise, I will come for you. So please, just hang in there for a little longer. I begin walking, or more accurately, dragging my heavy feet forward. The constant splashing of blood against my ankles grates at my already taut nerves. Morgana told me to find my way to her, and I can think of only one place she would be. She and Giselle must be there. Ooh. The stained glass window is splattered with blood, too. It creates trails like streams of tears running down the Archangel's face. I give the window a brief glance before making my way to the door, leading to the observation tower. Calm zone! Enter the calm zone! You're welcome. Hey, see, it did it again. I just have to talk in that voice. Enter the calm zone! Maybe? Yeah, sometimes. Anyways, you're welcome. No need to thank me, Cake. However, why won't it open? There shouldn't be a lock. Huh? So why? Lustrous black chains seal the metal door. I can recall no such obstruction present during either my life or my time hereafter. What on earth is going on in this house? No, that's not important right now. What matters is making it through this door. Damn it! I pull and I push, but the chains won't give an inch. They feel sturdy enough that I probably couldn't cut through them either. There has to be some way. Consider giving up here and scouring the rest of the house. But I'm convinced the tower is my best chance. The fact that it's sealed now, when it hadn't been before, feels like a challenge more than a deterrent. I trace a length of chain with my hand, and at the end of it I find a peculiar-looking lock, onto which the ends of several chains have been fed. There are 3 keyholes? Morgana fashioned a custom lock just for this? I need to find 3 keys to open the door then. Huh. But I have no idea where to begin my search. I've lived here for more than 10 years, and yet it feels like I've stepped into a strange land. No, it's not the same house. Searching blindly is only going to waste time. And the longer I take, the more danger she's in. I met someone before, who had a key. It's before I had reclaimed myself, when I was exploring the mansion alone. Think, Michael, who was it? The painting. The man in the painting. Which I think you missed this, Kev. Like everything else in the house, the painting is covered in blood. That it depicts a serene rural landscape only makes the contrast much grimmer. I remember talking to this painting, assuming I wasn't hallucinating. I have a question for you. Are you awake? Please, wake up. Can you hear my voice? Please, say something. You reside here in the house, like the witch, don't you? You've been here with her all this time, haven't you? Then you must know how to get into the observation tower. But the 3 keys I need to open the lock. I need to get into that tower. Please, tell me where I can find the keys. Say something, damn it. Answer my question. Is someone there? What? What's the matter? I feel kind of strange. Did the witch do something to me? But please get a hold of yourself. Everything's all red. I can't stand it. I don't remember using that color. I reach my hand up to try to wipe off as much blood as I can, but I can't even smear it with my sleeve. let alone get it off. You're wasting your time. But it's the thought that counts. Anyway, you had a question for me. Go on. I'm listening. He did not talk like this the last time. I guess the painting isn't on the witch's side then. The door to the observation tower has been locked. I need to gather 3 keys, I think. That's my assumption, since the lock had 3 keyholes. This was the guy who told us that it might be more difficult to reclaim ourselves, since all the stories up until then hadn't been ours. And he also, somebody, the witch, had thrown a key into him that unlocked the bedroom, that unlocked a memory from in there. Do you know of any such keys? And if so, could you tell me where they might be? Keys? Keys? Keys. Please, stay with me. You're the only one I can ask for help. Keys. I'm guessing that this is probably in some way connected to her past. Her past? You know, the events the witch is always cursing about. What happened between her and those 3 men? What happened between them? The keys are probably with the 3 of them. The 3 shadows. You must have seen them. 3 men. Shadows. Find them. And you'll probably find the keys too. But watch yourself. They aren't likely to trust you easily. The depth of their sins grows greater the farther you go. Visit them in order. The first one probably won't be a problem. So, tell me something. You're Michael, aren't you? What? I've wanted to apologize to you for so long. Wait, what do you mean? Do you know me? Did you? What do you want to apologize for? Tell me, please. Could you be... But why? How? When everything else is finished, I'm going to need to visit this painting again. But now, I have other things to do. The painting gave me a hint about where I could find the keys. I don't know anything about this past Morgana has with the 3 men. I never asked her about herself, after all. So maybe I'm going to have to end up having to do more than simply take Giselle back. Has our involvement with the witch caused us to be swept up in her twisted maelstrom of fate? Regardless, I need to get to work. The painting said to visit them in order. I assume he was referring to the order I entered the 3 doors? Which would mean... Rose Garden first. Let's say hi to Mel. I'm sure he's doing great. I make my way to the Rose Garden. The corridor leading there is a mess, and the wooden door is rotting away. I can smell the flowers on the other side. Everything is different from when I was alive. From when Giselle planted and raised that single rose. A scene from the past spreads out before me. And the field of once proudly flourishing roses is now withered and gray. Knowing how beautiful it had once been only makes it that much more dispiriting. A bitter breeze brushes past me. Solitude hangs over the garden like a thick fog eating away at me. This isn't what I wanted. Hi, Mel. Someone get me out of here. Oh God, tell me. Tell me that I'm not the bad one here. A young man's shadow stands off to the side, muttering listlessly to himself. I recognize his voice. Do you have the key? The boy and I have never met, but I feel like I know him quite well, like we've been acquainted for many years. I know how polite and mild-mannered he is. I know how kind, and how vulnerable, how human his heart is. However, very little of that boy seems to remain. This isn't what I wanted. Oh God, please answer me. Someone get me out of here. Tell me I'm not the bad one here. Answer me, Mel Rhodes. I know that's you. Huh? As soon as I say the shadow's name, it turns to face me. I still can't make out much detail, but he seems slightly less tenuous now. Who are you? How do you know my name? My name is Michael. I once lived here in this mansion. Michelle. I know that name. I know it very well. But something's not right. So they might both be pronounced the same way, but, and here's the thing that's had me pronouncing it differently. Captions can't pick up on that. So I'm gonna keep pronouncing it Michael. Pronouncing it Michael. There we go. You look different from the Michelle I remember. I am not the Michelle you know. Our names simply sound the same. Or at least they should. But captions can't pick up on that, so. Oh, that makes sense. She would never come see me. I have a question for you. Do you have the key to the observation tower? I do. Would you please give it to me? I need to get into that tower. And what do you need there? There's someone there I need to find. That's all? It may not sound like much to you, but it means a great deal to me. You're not one of her prisoners, then? No. I came here of my own will. To find this person? Exactly. Then maybe you can help me. Help you how? Set me free. Convince her to release me from this place. I'm begging you. The anguish emanating from the boy's shadow is so thick it causes me to recoil. There's a thread of dark desperation in his voice. Has he been imprisoned here for hundreds of years like Giselle? Promise me, you'll get me out of here. Am I even equipped to judge whether that would be a good decision or not? All I know of him is his time in the mansion during the Era of Roses. I know nothing else of his life. I don't even know if I would be capable of keeping such a promise. Do I have the strength to save anyone other than her? Do you absolutely need the key? You won't agree to help me without it, will you? What? I dropped it. Over there. Huh? The boy is pointing toward a thick bramble of roses. Despite the flowers themselves being wilted, the thorns are still sharp. It was an accident, I swear. But I didn't want to scratch at my arm, so I left it there. It's not my fault there are so many thorns. I really want to hit this boy. Why couldn't you have just said so? Because I thought, if I didn't have the key, that you wouldn't help me. There's only so much I can do, regardless of whether you have the key. I cannot promise you anything, nor can I be the judge of you. I see. I do not have enough information to make such a decision. Cheap promises and superficial kindness only to serve to destroy the both of us. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to retrieve the key. What? You'll never get it out of those thorns. I don't care if it's at the bottom of the ocean. I will have that key. You're wasting your time. I approach the bramble, reaching out for it with my right hand. This is kind of this kind of gets nasty a little bit. So, be warned. Hold on, let me bring the text up. Be warned. It's a little gory. It's a little gory. So be warned. His hand's gonna get fucked up. From behind me, I can sense the boy watching. First, I attempt to spread the tangled, thorn-ridden stems so I can put my arm in without injuring myself. But they seem to be made of iron rather than plant, and my efforts prove mostly fruitless. The only opening is barely large enough to fit an arm in, and resembles the toothy mouth of a beast. Looking around the garden, I can't find anything that looks remotely useful. I guess my only option is reaching in. That's not going to stop me. I lean down, inserting my right arm into the thorny cavern. Immediately, they begin ripping at my sleeve and gashing at my flesh. Blood spills down my arm. I'm long since dead, no longer human, but the pain is still agonizing, still very much real. Giselle, she doesn't bleed. She doesn't feel pain. Am I not the same as her then? That doesn't matter right now. Focus on getting the damn key. Streams of crimson spread through the steel-like tangle, gnawing at my arm like a ravenous animal. Where the hell is the key? The thorny stems are twisted and layered so thick I can't see inside at all. As I dig around blindly, I start losing feeling in my arm. It's an endless deluge of pain. Hey, cut it out! You're going to lose your arm! I will not stop until I have the key. Don't ask me for help. I wasn't even considering it. Collect what remains of my gradually fading sensation and focus it into my fingers, praying even one of them will brush against the key. Damn it! As much as I search, as much as I dig, I find nothing so much as resembling a key, which means it must be deeper than I can reach my arm. Even so, I cannot give up. Hey, please, be quiet. Right now. I need to focus. I'm sorry, I do have the key, actually. You what? I'm so sorry. It didn't look like you were willing to help me even if I gave it to you, so... Plus, she told me not to give it to anyone, for any reason. Hold still so I can beat you! I didn't mean you any ill will. You most certainly did. I'll give you the key, so please have mercy. Trembling in fear, the boy's shadow sticks out a hand, holding the key. The arm I used to dig through the thorns is so bloody and gashed I can barely look at it, but it does still function. So I take the key from him with my right hand to prove a point. Mel, you little shit. Why couldn't you use your other hand? That's gross. That's the idea. You're kind of a jerk, you know. That's a laugh coming from you. Do you have any idea how much that hurt? I know. I'm sorry, really. But hey, you're alive, so no big deal, right? But wait, can you actually say either of us are alive? I don't know anymore. I do appreciate you giving me the key, though, seeing as it seemed to be rather important to you, too. Hey, is this person you want to get back really worth going through all this for? She is. She's the one person who ever loved me, and she's waiting for me. I see. You know, I had someone that meant a lot to me, too. My sister. Which one? Which? The one with flaxen hair, like me. If you happen to see her, do something nice for her, please. That I would say is your responsibility. Yeah, you're right. But I'll keep it in mind. Thanks. In the tale I witnessed, the boy pushed his sister away. For an understandable reason, admittedly. But now he seems to bear no grudge for her. Did something else happen between them? Even if it did, I don't have time to ask about it. I'll be on my way. Alright, take care. There are 2 more keys. Watch out, though. They're not the most friendly people. And they'll probably be even more enraged locked up like this. I appreciate the warning. If only someone like you had shown up sooner and taken the keys from us. Goodbye. After bidding me farewell, the boys... I think the gore is gone. So yeah, he let our hand get fucked up for a prank. It was just a prank, bro. But, at least he apologized. Mel's kind of a little shit. Mel is kind of a little shit sometimes, huh? But I guess I'm not too surprised he isn't exactly trusting of us. Considering if he's been here since his door happened, that's been, what? At least 500 years? Or so? Probably more. I wonder if he's gone back to mindlessly muttering his regrets. I should get going. Oh, wait, I think... Oh, that makes sense. Okay. I was thinking a little bit. I might bring what just happened up later, but we'll see. Time to visit everybody's favorite guy. Not Jacopo, actually. He's last. Well, I should have said that for Jacopo. For this, let's go visit the murder cellar. Let's go downstairs to the cellar. I'm sure this will be a fun time. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. I descend the stairs, opening the cellar door. The first time I visited this room, the smell of blood from within was nearly suffocating. Now, the entire house reeks of it, and I've started to go numb to the odor. There's no one here. Am I in the wrong place? Begin exploring the cellar, hoping to maybe find the key hidden away or abandoned somewhere. As I reach my hand out to investigate one area. Hi, Bestia. So true, Bestia. So true. So true, Bestia. Duh. A shadow leaps out from the thick darkness. Why is all this darkness so damn thick? Why is all the darkness here got cake? Is darkness double cheeked up on a... What is today? Sunday evening? This darkness is... I've got cheeks for days. It's so swift I have no time to react. My body freezes in place. The shadow stands before me, holding the tip of a blade mere inches from my face. A key. You have a key. I do, yes. Cold sweat trickles down my back. My voice is shaking, and there's no hiding it. The shade appears to be glaring at me, though I cannot make out its face. After a few seconds, it withdraws its blade. Let me see it. The boy's key. Did he give it to you? In the rose garden, yes. Are you two acquaintances? How could that be, though? You were from a completely different era and country. Who are you? No, never mind. Who you are is irrelevant to me. Are you human now? If you are speaking of my nature, then no is the only answer I can give you. You didn't kill me, though. If you wanted to, you could easily skewer me where I stand. If that's what you want, I'd be happy to oblige. What did you come here for? For your key. Came to ask if you would give it to me. You mean to open that door? I need to get into the tower, yes. I see. Take it. Thanks, bro. That was... Why was that so much easier than goddamn Mel? Why did he do less... Why did he hurt us less than Mel? Fucking Mel. I guess he already knows that we have the kind of trust of another one of the prisoners here. So, that makes it a little easier, I suppose. Ay. Why are my hiccups like this? The man's shadow tosses the key at my feet. I'm not quite sure what to think. I didn't expect him to give it up so readily. What? Take it. I won't stab you in the back while you're bending over. I thought you were supposed to hold on to this at all costs. I no longer have any reason to guard that key. In the past, I might have severed your head from your shoulders the moment you mentioned it, though. What point in the past? That's a question I wish I knew the answer to. Hey, do you know why I'm here? Okie dokes. All good, cake. Hope you have a good Stardew Valley. Where is this place? Where this place is? When it is? Why can't I get out of here? What's happened to me? Tell me! I have no idea what's going on. Not a single goddamn idea. Neither do I. Get out. Take the key. Get out of here. Get out! Can't bring myself to say anything to the enraged shadow, so I follow his command, picking up the key and departing the cellar. thought I was dead for a second. This makes two, though. What could have happened between these people? The painting mentioned a past with them, and Morgana spoke of the wicked men she cursed. Does that mean they did something awful enough to earn Morgana's spite? Right now, though, I must push onward. If I'm not mistaken, the final key should be in that room. The room with the billiards table? What is billiards anyway? I should get moving. Once I have this key, I can get into the observation tower. I'm almost certain Morgana is waiting for me there, with Giselle. So I gather up my resolve and hurry to the last room, not wanting to take even a second longer than necessary getting her back. Ah! I can hardly believe my eyes when I step into the den. The middle of the room is a large, rectangular table. Several balls roll across its surface, and perched on one corner, looking down at the floor, is her. Giselle! Giselle! The question of why she's here never crosses my mind. All I feel is elation to see her once more. There's no room for anything else in my head. I run over to her, put my hand on her shoulder. Thank goodness you're all right. And turn her toward me. What? What? Giselle? Giselle! No time for funny jokes. I shake her, causing her head to droop lifelessly. There's not a trace of light in her unmoving eyes. Why? Giselle, why? Say something. Giselle, say anything, please. This can't be. You can't be. You can't be. My mind goes blank. I can't catch my breath. The world is hazy. Why? Why is Giselle? Why did I have to find her like this? Why? I swore I would do anything. I swore I would never lose you again. No. This can't be. A thought crosses my dazed, despair-wrought mind. It's probably nothing more than vain hope, but... Not a drop of blood spilled from my breast. That's right. She doesn't bleed. So this can't be her. This isn't her. Or maybe Morgana has the power to alter Giselle's very nature. Kill her with the flick of a wrist. No, I don't even want to think about that. There's no hope to be found down that path. All I can do is pray. Beg for her to still be alive. Or, if alive isn't the right word, herself. My prayers bring me back to reality. Which is when I realize... something hard pressed against the back of my head. Hear a harsh metallic clink. What? Piercing bang rips through the air as I drop to the hard floor. My ears are ringing painfully. Through the cloud of smoke and confusion, I see a man's silhouette. Missed. It takes several moments to recognize the object in his hand as a gun. Not only because it's draped in shadow, because I've never seen one with my own eyes. Had I not witnessed what they were capable of through the stories, I would not have understood how terrifying they were. Not a problem, Lil. I'll finish you with the next one. Now, you hold still, boy. Start running around like a rat, and I can't guarantee you a painless death. Wait. Hold on a second. What are you trying to kill me for? Because you make too much goddamn noise, that's why. Don't tell me. You're the one who... What? Turn my gaze toward the large table. Giselle isn't there. Must have been an illusion after all. The realization sends a relief through me. Wave of relief through me. Still have a gun in my face, though. Stinky man, stinky bastard man. Curious man you are. Does the table warrant your attention more than me? I have a request. Could you give me the key in your possession? That's all I need, and then I'll leave and stop making a racket. Not sure you understand your predicament, boy. Because if you think you're in any position to be asking favors, you're dumber than you look, ha! First off, I don't even know what key you're talking about. I don't believe that. The other two had keys. Telling me they gave you their keys? Sounds like they really do know each other. See for yourself. Believe you should recognize these. You collecting them to enter the tower? You going to see Morgana? Seems to be a hint of tension in the man's voice. Though I can't see his face, I can sense the waves forming within him. I brace myself for either rejection or hot lead. But the apparition gives me neither. Take me with you! What? You have the other two keys, don't you? And you can open the door. Bring me to the witch. Wait, slow down. What are you planning to do when you see her? What do you think? She has to. She has to. He's gone. She has to. What? What was he trying to say? On the floor where the shade stood is a new key. Curious though I am about his last words. This makes 3. I have all the keys now. I can complete the Triforce and summon Exodia. Sorry, that was stupid. Are you trying to rile me up, Morgana? Are you enjoying yourself up there, showing me those phantoms and watching me squirm? Just you wait. I'm on my way. I gave the room a brief once-over before making my way back to the chapel. Ah, all the blood. So nice. So much blood. So fun. The keys fit perfectly in the openings on the lock, and when I insert the last one, it clicks open. The chains sealing the door, falling to the floor. They're waiting beyond this door, at the top of the stairs. I start pondering what I can even do in a face-off against Morgana, which sends a nervous shudder down my spine. I'm not going to back down, regardless, but she is a witch, and I'm a mere human. Formerly human. Not a master swordsman, nor do I wield a gun. I have nothing at all with which to fight her, and not even some tiny little flaxen-haired twink. I'm just Michael, with a fucked up arm now, apparently. I'm just Michael, the white hair twink. A different flavor of twink from Mel. I still have to confront the witch, though, no matter what. As laughably reckless, as foolish as I may be, I have no other option. Place my hand on the door, preparing to climb the tower, where I once spent my last breath, Giselle locked safely away in the chamber at the top. The tower where I first met the witch. No hesitation. The sound of blood streaming down the stairs echoes off the stone walls. Although I have begun growing numb to the house's otherworldly ornamentation, the sight of a seemingly endless river of blood flowing down the spiral staircase sends a chill through me. Every step I climb makes a splat, splat noise. When I reach a window, I look out to see a churning reddish-black fog.
Now this brings me back.
You climbing the stairs alone, just like old times. Morgana. I waited so long for someone like you to show up. Someone with enough to spare to resurrect me. Give her back. But now, I don't see it in you. I don't feel one bit of that intense hopelessness anymore. Give her back. And here I thought we were cut from the same cloth. Morgana! Yes, I'll give her back. If you can make it to me without losing yourself. I will not give up. Doesn't matter what you do. Looking up, I can't see how far the stairs extend. It's just a gaping blackness, so I have no way of knowing for sure whether I'm getting any closer. Around and around, around and around, around and around. Beneath me, the blood river traces the same path in reverse. I start to wonder if the staircase even does end. If I'm not just eternally retracing my own steps. But I continue climbing regardless. It's all I can do. Put one foot in front of the other and hope I make it to the top. Morgana, what is this place? What did you do to it? What is it? Why, it's the mansion you lived in for a decade, of course. You look at this and tell me it's the same house. What's with the blood everywhere? And the three shadows? Now, my dear, no need to raise your voice. And you're being impolite, one question at a time. Answer me! What is this place? That's immaterial. Even if I were to give you an answer you found satisfying, what would that knowledge do for you? Your objective is to reach the top of these stairs and rescue Giselle. Nothing more, nothing less. Isn't that right? Or, by chance, have you taken an interest in me? Despite never once asking me about myself before. My gut tells me that without knowing what this place is, without even the briefest glimpse at its nature, I won't be able to safely get her back. Without knowing what I'm up against, I don't stand a chance. Please, tell me about this mansion, Morgana. About yourself. What are you, Morgana? A witch? No, that's not what I'm asking. Why do you have the powers you do? What are you? Yes, I get it. Humans feel the need to attach names to things and phenomena they don't understand. I understand that feeling very well. Which is why I'm sure you'll be rather disappointed when I reveal the truth. What do you mean? What I mean is, I'm an ordinary human. That's not possible. You expect me to believe a human created this illusion? Then are you saying I'm a magician or a wizard like you might see in some fairy tale? I would believe that, over you being human. Think back then, would you? Recall our time together. Did I ever once use magic? Did I control fire or wind? Did I create illusions? No, I did none of that, because I could not. To you, when you were alive, I suppose you could say, I was naught but a simple ghost. A rather mischievous, but otherwise powerless spirit. And I was nothing more to those 3 men either. The witch, Morgana, was never anything but a wretched phantom haunting this old house. But then, how do you explain this? Michael, my dear, we're not the same beings we once were. We're different than we were in the realm of light, the era of the living. You figured that much out, though, haven't you? That you're already dead. Yes, I know. I know I couldn't possibly be alive. Yet you still view this world through the lens of the living. You make no effort to see it as the land of the dead. Tell me, why would you think that the realm of the living and dead are the same? Though the worlds behind each door were so vibrant, the mansion itself never had any color. They were the memories of the past, of the land of the living, of times forever lost to us. Our lives have already come to an end, my dear. Every last soul within these walls is dead. This is the world that lies beyond the end. It is my world. This is the afterlife. Why get caught up in the minutoire? 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 I don't know how to pronounce this word. Oh. None of us have a future, so what reason is there for you to desperately obsess over taking Giselle back? Just like you, she's long since dead. She's a walking corpse. It's nothing I didn't already know, but hearing her say it, it's like a kick to the gut. Dead or alive, she still lives on within this house, and my spirit found its way back too. Why then should I not wish for her to have a future? No matter what form it may take. No matter if my choice is erase her from this world entirely, having seen what lies beyond the door in her heart. What happened in all those hundreds of years. I could never let her remain here with you, trapped in this world bereft of light, drifting aimlessly for all eternity. So determined you feel the need to raise your voice. But you're not going to budge on that point, I see. I ask you this again, Morgana. Please, tell me about yourself. How did you come to be a witch? How did you end up attached to this house? I want to hear your story. You honestly want to know about me? I do now, yes. But not for me, for her, right? Don't be shy now. It's the truth, isn't it? Besides, if you did say it was for me, not her, I might die of laughter. As you wish. You have seen many tales of people's lives since arriving here, and now you shall see mine. Though I ask you this, will you writhe in despair with me? Will you endure maddening agony for me? Will you know pain enough to make you howl? Will you face despair again and again and again? As I said before, if that is what you want from me, let me tell you something though, my dear. It will not be as easy to watch as you imagine. Now that you've reclaimed yourself, you will be able to feel all my pain as if it were your own, to resonate with it. Resonate with it? You no longer have your little guardian with you either. My guardian. She was always protecting me. You'll have a wonderful time, I'm sure. It's a tale that could only have taken place in that era of miracles and spirituality. Wondrous and weird, senseless and stupid. Hopelessly tragic. Will you watch it with me? As soon as the final word leaves her mouth, I'm engulfed in darkness. not even given a moment to brace myself. The tower stairs crumble beneath me. My feet have nowhere to go. As I'm being battered by the roaring blood river, my consciousness melds with another. Is this a door? I don't remember if this is technically a door, but welcome to Morgana's backstory. Should be quite interesting, I do think. Ugh, my hands are falling asleep again. Why does this happen sometimes? As much as I regret leaving it here, that probably means I should end it. My hands being all weird like this, I don't know why they're doing it. I have no idea why they do this, but I think I'm gonna end it here. Yeah, it is a good time to stop. We got to lose Giselle once again. We got to suffer more. Yay! And I'll leave you with this interesting little I don't know. I was gonna say tidbit. Piece of dialogue to ponder on. But let me see who is live. I don't know why this hand tingling thing happens. It's always my hands. I could raid Somnia, but I did raid them last time. I raided Hope Noah recently. I like to vary who I raid. That could be good. Let's see. Why I have no idea why they're doing this. Oh shoot! I have the perfect raid target. They were actually in chat earlier. Star the Foxo. They stopped by for just a little bit while we were playing, what's it called? I've already forgotten the name. Get in the car, loser. But, yeah, let's raid into them. Let me see. I'm just making sure I don't think there's anybody else. I always want to check everybody I'm following, because I follow a lot of people, and it takes me quite a bit of time to get through all of the... Also, why do my hands do this? I don't know. Something I should tell my doctor. There's a lot I need to tell my doctor. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. I think I'm gonna stream tomorrow. I'm going to be switching my... I hope this is alright. I'm going to be switching my Tuesday streams to Monday, because Tuesday, and this is the funniest reason, is the day that has discount movies at the theater that me and my friend go to. And we like to make it a weekly thing, so I'll be probably going there every week. So, and I did indeed see Morbius. I also saw, what's it called? Oh, also Undertale spoilers. Star the Foxo is playing Undertale, so Undertale spoilers. Just wanted to let you know that. But yeah, thanks for everybody coming around, and I really appreciate it. I'm gonna head out. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. What? Did it raid? I think it